Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Nick Valentine. Co tam od nas chcesz?
Sure, ask away.
It's just, with everything that's happened with you and your family, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. I wanted to make sure you're holding up all
Dokładnie,
right.
Agata. W idealnym momencie akurat Nick Valentine
Why do you ask?
I just had a hard
prowadzi z
go
nami
with
jakiś
the
dialog dziwny.
transition myself. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point, and folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask. Plenty of people assumed I was just a saboteur, moving in to melt down the reactor or poison the drinking water. But at the time, they couldn't exactly turn me away.
Why'd they let you in?
Because I'd rescued the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd, known for an evening. Turns out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
Fajnie, Nick nam się otworzył.
You took down 4 guys by yourself?
Well, I didn't have to. Back then, synths were even more of an unknown quantity than they are today. I told them I was rigged to explode and started going.
Uciekli.
Hardest part of that rescue was keeping from laughing as they climbed over each other to get away.
Dobre.
Was it hard settling in?
Yeah, they sure didn't make it easy. I started off doing the jobs no one else wanted. I got more banged up being Diamond City's handyman than I ever did living out in the ruins. But I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's daughter, so they started coming to me when people went missing. Wife runs off with a new paramour and takes the rent money with her. Talk to the synth. An upset father decides moving him and the kids to Good Neighbor in the dead of night's not the worst damn idea since the bomb. Go get Nick. After a while, the jobs got so backed up, they didn't even ask me to do the handyman stuff anymore. Hell, I was so happy to do it, it was months before I started charging anyone. I never stopped being Nick the Synth, but it was Nick the Detective folks came to see. It was about then that things finally started feeling normal. It took me a long time to realize that home is where you make it. And with some time and effort, this place can be home for you, too. That's a long story, but I hope it helps. Want to get moving?
Ciekawa historia. Ciekawa historia Tonika, taka skłaniająca do rozwalenia instytutu.
Hey.
Chcesz wygrzew? Trzymaj.
Go easy.
Nie zauważy. O, ostatnio nie ten. Mamuśka martwi ostatnio nie ćpała, więc trzymaj.
I see you surrounded by outstretched hands. Everyone needs your help, kid. Everyone wants you to see things their way. And whether you want it or not, you're gonna have to decide which ways of life keep going in the Commonwealth and which end. Oh, God. Sorry, kid. Old Ticker just lurched there a few times. I'm fine.
Musimy wygrać światopogląd. A, mamuśka martwi się trzyma ostro. Już też myślałem, że ją zabiłem, ale na szczęście nie. Zadania. Bitwa o bunkier. Preston robi coś innego. Aż skubaniec. Śpi.
Remember that settlement that was asking for help? All safe and sound again.
Wstawaj, Preston, nie ma czasu.
Good. This is how we're gonna take back the Commonwealth. One small victory at a time.
No i fajnie.
Good to see you.
No, nie wiem czy szybciej, ale oglądało się lepiej, bo cały czas też cięcia były. No nie wiem.
Hello, Father. Tell me,
Dziwnie, ojcze.
what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
That's a loaded question. What's been stolen from you?
Institute property is not often taken from us. We cannot react lightly when it happens. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had
No
gone
też bym się nie
missing
chciał, w
in
szczególności,
recent
że jest tak
They no doubt mean to free
duża jest odległość, a wolno się biega.
synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
A, no i co w końcu? Po jakiej stronie stoimy?
I'm not sure why you'd bother.
Aside from taking back our property, we must teach them a lesson, as it were, and quickly at that. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths.
Właśnie
That would only
też nie jestem
complicate
przekonany.
There better be something in this for me.
I assure you, this operation will have very significant results in your favor. There will be a courser waiting for you near Bunker Hill. Please find him before barging in.
Dobra. Bo to jest chyba już rozdroże. O tej zdradzie, nie? Jak powiedziałem właśnie. On i tak zaraz umrze. Dobra, no mamy jeszcze chwilę. No tak, ale też patrząc na to, Instytut... Kurde, w sumie, czy on coś robi mega złego? Oni chcą tylko syntkami się wysługiwać.
Hell yeah!
Find him and kill him.
Mamy jeszcze chwilę na decyzję. Oj, przypadkowo wziąłem klucz do kół. No. Co robimy? Jaka w końcu decyzja? Zostajemy. Jakoś tak mi też... Nie wiem, no szukaliśmy tyle to syna. Kurczę, ale nie podoba mi się strasznie ten instytut. Te syntki, to wszystko. Jakby to rozwalić tym bractwem? To ciężka decyzja. No i co? Zostajemy.
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, the line at the car wash was super long. Took me forever.
Your attempt at humor is wasted. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. We move in, secure the synths, and I
Kurczę,
relay
ale
out
teraz
with them
tak
back to
myślę.
the Institute. Clear? The mission's parameters just changed. We go in shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
No i co z nami? Teraz tak myślę, że cała wspólnota jest przeciwko instytutowi. Co nie? Bractwo, to jest wszystko. Dobrze, teraz nie strzel. Jak tu wejść? O. Przeszliśmy obok całej strzelaniny i... Proszę. Ale się dzieje.
Leave no survivors.
Gdzie ja mam iść? Nie no, ratujemy ludzi, to tak. Nie mogę wejść po schodach. Czuję się, jakbym wbijał im nóż w plecy. O, właśnie tak. Dobra, idę sobie.
I've been looking for you.
No, I've got money. It's yours if you let me go.
I co? Czego się
At
popłaczesz?
633, initiate reset. Authorization code Delta 62 Arcus. All right, Synth.
Please.
Z322, initiate reset. Authorization code Gamma 49 Typhoon. You there, Synth.
Come on, please. Just don't.
B257, initiate reset. Authorization code Theta 93 Stratus.
Kurde,
No
no nie
sudden
wiem.
moves. Please, no.
Nie wiem, czy my dobrze
Y915,
robimy.
initiate reset. Authorization code Beta 77 Tempest.
That's all of them. Objective complete. Return to the town. Make sure all hostiles have been eliminated. I will relay the synths back to the Institute.
No, jak już zacząłem, to... Bardziej.
That's what you want.
Jesteśmy kretem po prostu wszystkich. Aha, się wczułem. Po prostu jest fajna fabuła, a nie... Idziemy do ruin. Po prostu fabuła mi się podoba. I ona umożliwiła to wczucie. Bo w Horizon się w ogóle tak nie wczułem, a tutaj jest dużo lepiej. To jest cały czas ta walka. Synki tu giną. Prawo, ochłap. Teraz się przesuń. Gdzie mam iść? Pochładzam dzielnie. Towarzyszy.
Life signs detected.
Pyk, 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 jeszcze lód. Żeby nie wpaść do dziury. Gdzie ja mam iść? W ruinach? No to jesteśmy, nie? W ruinach. Dziwna sprawa. Każe nam wejść wyżej. Wspólnota. Tu? Czy tu? A, to będzie tutaj. No i zobaczymy, co tutaj wymajstrowaliśmy, no. Może będzie ok. Spotkanie na dachu. I cyk, teraz go nożem.
In all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
Nie, to czego tak mówisz? O, chłop.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this
Pewnie podjęliśmy złą decyzję, najgorszą jaka była.
Kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? Well, he was correct. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
Co tutaj?
So it was you. You let me out.
Sobie robił eksperyment.
It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else.
Trzeba ich zostawić.
Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me. Would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Nie, publiczek, już się wziąłem i przesiadłem na PS5.
That's all this is to you? All I am to you? Just another experiment?
I nie żałuję, powiem ci, że spoko, naprawdę.
But still, I'm glad it turned out the way it did. There are greater things to come after your success at Bunker Hill. The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. Thank you for your work. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
What do you mean, the synths will be repurposed?
Modifications will be made to correct the defects in their programming, and they'll be assigned to new duties within the Institute.
Gdzie komputer? Nie, to komputera nie mam w planach, coś ty.
Remains an annoyance, of course, but they'll be dealt with as necessary. And you, well,
na razie playka mi wystarcza, więc sobie zostawiam.
Please, take this as a token of my appreciation, our appreciation, really. It's
500
time for
kapsli.
you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Dobra. Zrobię save'a. Myślę nad którym save'em, bo jest wspólnota. Okej. Żeby nie chcę sobie zamykać furtki. Na drugie zakończenie. Dobra, spróbujemy tak. Bo tego nie widać. No dobra, idziemy do Instytutu. O, nawet szybko nam się załadowało. Coś takiego. O, no teraz wiedziałaś. Jak się pytałem, co mamy zrobić, to nic nie mówiłaś.
Remember, health and happiness
Son,
go hand
Let's
in
get
hand.
this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further.
A gdzie to jest?
It's important. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important.
No bo ja się zastanawiałem. O co chodzi?
Good, we're all here.
Oh.
I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the
Całą
increased
grę
activity around Fort Independence.
graliśmy,
But there
żeby
are no
wybrać
immediate signs we should be concerned.
złą
Austin
końcówkę.
International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I don't think so.
It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to have. The project has been classified from the beginning. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
In this world, I'm sure compromise is necessary.
Quite right. For far too long, we've been dependent on others. On our surroundings. That time is over. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was over the years, we've advanced the technology,
Oj,
made
przypadkowo
a great
pominąłem.
many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone.
Jeszcze chce
While
nas
I'm not overly
zastąpić.
fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What? Can't be
Please,
serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
A my w tej masce.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He
Kurczę.
isn't one of us. He isn't even a
Może-
scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say
Możemy
this.
coś
The Institute has enough scientists.
tutaj zrobimy,
What it
dobrze.
needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude
Może
this.
pomożemy w końcu ludziom.
Thank you.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
I had no idea.
I know this is... Well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous.
Po cichu liczyłem, że będziemy przywozić Instytutem.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous, perfectly capable of functioning without intervention. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. You'd lead the Directorate in setting policy, resolving disputes, and the like. There's no question that some of the
Tak, bo to tak się
and the Institute at
toczyło do
large
tego,
will
że my
need
to przyjmiemy, nie?
reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details.
Czyli będziemy
There
ten.
are hard decisions
Jednak nas
ahead
lubi.
for all of
Nasz
us,
syn.
but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Ostatnia misja. Chyba ostatnia. Musimy iść z kimś pogadać.
Scanning. Subject identified.
Zobaczymy.
Allie.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
I need some details here. I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Of course, that's why we're talking. Otherwise, you'd be up top already. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands. I'm going with you.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
No way. You're not going. You'd be a liability.
Well, that's about the most insulting thing I've heard in a while. Okay, you're on your own then. Good luck. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and they'll get you over to mass fusion in a flash. Pun sort of intended.
Dobra. Kurczę. Poinformuj bractwo. Teraz nowy zapis. No i co? Roznosimy ich w pył, czy... Ale nie tutaj. Jeszcze mamy okazję.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
Jak to się wchodzi? No i potem co powiedział, byłem tylko eksperymentem. Idziemy do bractwa. No właśnie, dowiedziałem się, że nic nie znaczy dla tego syna. No więc niestety. No więc niestety, no idziemy do tego bractwa. Oni jacyś są tutaj odklejeni. Ale zostawię ten zapis. Zostawię ten zapis i zobaczymy też drugie.
Proctor Ingram, the Institute wants me to get something called a beryllium agitator from the ruins of mass fusion.
A beryllium agitator? I seem to remember reading an old technical document on those once, but I only thought they were theoretical. It must be pretty darn important if they're sending you to find one. You know, if we head over to mass fusion right now, we may be able to get the device before the Institute does. That's if you don't mind a little company, of course.
It would be helpful if you tagged along.
I knew you'd see it my way. Grab whatever gear you need and meet me on the flight deck. But don't take too long. This could be our best chance at beating the Institute to the punch.
Dobra. Czekamy. Albo wyprzedzimy. Ale jestem ciekaw. Gdzie ona jest? Idzie. Jestem ciekaw też zakończenia z Instytutem. Ale coś czuję, że oni to wszystko wysadzą i to będzie tyle. No bo im, to jak powiedział, niepotrzebna jest wspólnota. Oni chcą żyć tylko w swoim gronie. No i co?
Proctor.
Hope you're geared up. Otherwise, this is gonna be a short trip.
O. Lecimy? Ja pierdzie.
We need to get over to Mass Fusion as soon as we can.
Poleciałem, ale ja lecę teraz na ten okręt ten. Aż cholera, coś się zbagowało, nie? Lotnisko. Dobra, wchodzimy.
Roger that, Scabbard. We have clearance for release. You might want to hang on, sir. The drop can be a little rough.
Never could get used to flying in these things.
O, proszę, wygnali mnie. O, chłop sobie leci z nami. Zobaczymy. Zrobimy sobie 2 zakończenia. O Jezu, jak będziemy tak długo lecieć. Właśnie, chłopa też by zabili. Kto do mnie strzela? Można szybciej? Już nie mamy całego dnia, dawajcie. Już 23.
Hostile target sighted on the roof, sir. Prepare to engage.
Damn synths, they're crawling all over the place. Send them out before we drop.
Że z działka postrzelamy. Jest tak ciężko wycelować z tego działka. Ale robimy desant. Gdzie oni są? Tu. Nie. No próbuję, ej, no nie mogę wyskoczyć. No bez jaj. Nie mogę wyskoczyć. No to pewnie trzeba by było ten... O Boże, co za gra. No klikam X, nic to nie daje. Nagle z dupy się przeskoczył normalnie. O, to nasza. Szukam tego tej karty. A niestety nie widzę jej. Gdzieś tu może zepsuta lampa. Dobra, wchodzimy na górę. O, może tu? Hasło. Weź, pyk, pyk. No i jedziemy. Winda też za szybka nie jest. Jeszcze jedziemy. Ta, no, ale ostatnią to dali. Specjalnie taką. Wow, ile synków. Wow, trafił. Masz zerową szansę trafienia. Fajnie. Mogę wyskoczyć?
They've knocked out the power to the elevators.
Ale to jest jazda. Jakbyśmy wybrali instytut, byśmy sobie tylko przeszli obok. Dobra. Nie przywrócimy zasilania.
No way I could pick this.
Kurde. Czyli pewnie naokoło jakoś musimy przejść. O, tu do góry. Awansuję na wyższy poziom. Szybko wybrałem. O, cyk. Tu. Wow, ale głośno.
There, that's done it. Power's back online.
Nie chcę wsiadać do windy znowu. Znowu jechać tyle nią.
movement detected. Curious.
Dlaczego mam nagle sprawcę z wyścigiem?
It would appear my target has disappeared.
Mocne te syntki. Virgil, gdzie jesteś? Później sprawdzimy. Teraz mam takie... Co ja mam tu zrobić? A, chyba tu zejść. Pyk, zamek otworzymy. No ale wszystkich, których znamy, są przeciwko Instytutowi, więc... No, otworzysz się. Jej.
Got it.
Tylko to. Cienko. Dzielnica biznesowa. To co, ja mam stąd wyjść? Nie rozumiem. Nie, czytam poradnik. Jej. Reaktor. Tu jest kombinezon ochronny.
That's it.
Dobra. Co oni tutaj robili? Co to? Aha, te artefakty jakieś.
Powering up. Protectron on duty. Protect and serve.
Mogę nieść gaśnicę. Tu jest jeszcze ciekawego? No, nic nie ma. Teoretycznie było napisane, że jakiś kombinezon ochronny tutaj jest. Może to tu. Otwórz średni. Dobra, zobaczymy. Founded Daggers.
Yes.
Ale fart. Dobra, to było. Ale fart przy tym. Coś odpalam, ale... O cholera.
Something's out.
Do not attempt to flee. Justice will be administered swiftly
Nie,
and
ja chcę to
fairly.
wyłączyć. Sobie wyżyczki na twarz.
Compromised. Engaging.
Engaging hostiles.
Sobie zrobiliśmy, żeby było więcej strzelania. No. Znaczy, bo jak coś to specjalnie to odpaliłem, żeby było bardziej hardkorowo, nie? Łapasz pana śmierci. Kombinezon ochronny. O. Okej. Dobra, ja zakładam kombinezon. Gdzie to jest? Jak wyglądamy? O, kozacko. Jak to się otwiera?
Radiation levels are dangerously high in there. Let me know if you need any radiation protection. I'll communicate with you through their intercom system while I monitor everything from out here.
Dobra, dawaj. Idziemy po to. Weźmiemy sobie Radixa i...
The beryllium agitator should be in a port at the top of the reactor.
Tu coś mam zrobić? Nie. Chyba tędy. Tak jest.
Security alert in the reactor chamber. Emergency lockdown initiated.
Dobra, ja wyjąłem reaktor. To muszę zabezpieczyć ochronę. Dobra, wychodzę stąd.
Please wait. False alarm. Evaluation complete.
Spadamy. O Jezu. O kurde, to potrzeba jakiegoś mocniejszego sprzętu. A jeszcze ten mały został robocik, no. O, chłop, nie płacz. Będzie dobrze. Możemy wyjść. Hej, nie. Maska. To. Dobra, jesteśmy już ubrani. Spadamy. Wyjścia mamy obcykane, więc na luzie. Prawie się zgubiłem. Kurde, ochłap nie zdążył.
The Institute must have sent reinforcements. I'll help hold them off. Just make sure you get the agitator out of here.
Opcjonalne. Wysprzyj oddział bractwa. Kto przeżyje?
Movement detected. Curious. You must be terminated.
O, chłop. Nowicjusz. Szkoda, że giermka nie mamy. Chore te synki. No. O Jezu, ale oni mają dużo życia. Ale chwila. W ogóle coś jeszcze wziąłem przypadkowo. I on jest lepszy od tego, co ja mam? 32, tak, lepszy. Uwaga, mamy nowy ubiór, nowe ciuszki. Estetyczny hełm bractwa. Zmieniliśmy maskę. To jest ten, nie?
Hey there.
Czołem. Wychodzimy znowu, będziemy się ładować, ja się napiję.
When it comes to keeping the Pridwin running, Proctor Ingram's the best.
I was able to keep the Institute from getting their hands on the beryllium agitator.
Glad to see you're still in one piece.
I wouldn't have made it without your help.
That's funny. I seem to remember having to talk you into letting me come along. Anyway, we shouldn't stand around here talking. We've both got a lot of work to do. In the meantime, I'll take the agitator and stow it on the Pridwin for safekeeping.
Here you go. Are you sure it's going to be safe up there?
If the Institute had the muscle to take the Pridwin down, they'd have done it already. Besides, I think they're smart enough not to poke a hornet's nest. You know, I'm not sure what the Institute wanted this thing for, but I'm glad we got it first. Now scoot. We both got things to do.
Wygnanie z Instytutu ukończono. Mapa. Yes.
It needs some refinement, but I think we can consider my serum a qualified success.
This is incredible.
It is a significant first step, but it still only works on one strain of FEV. It will take years, perhaps decades, to generalize my formula. Still, you have my gratitude. You're welcome to make use of my lab. Or help yourself to any of this junk, if you want it. In the meantime, I have a lot of experiments to run. Excuse me.
No i fajnie. Ratowaliśmy go. No, nie no, niemożliwe, że tak się to skończyło. Jeszcze z Jackiem Cabotem o artefakcie mogę porozmawiać. Ja nie widzę tu żadnych misji.
Our latest intelligence tells us you've infiltrated the Institute and liberated a valuable holotape from their facility. I'm quite disappointed you chose to build the signal interceptor without the Brotherhood Knight. However, you've secured passage to and from their facility, which was one of our primary goals. So, I'm willing to overlook your lapse in judgment, since you've unexpectedly accelerated our plans. I now have 2 missions for you to complete. First and foremost, I want you to bring that holotape to Proctor Ingram right away. There could be data vital to the success of our mission on that tape, so we can't afford to take any chances. The second part of your mission requires a bit of background to explain. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
That's fortunate.
Yes, it was. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital wasteland. After some time, She developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
What sort of differences?
Although she was working with the Brotherhood of Steel, she never formally joined as a scribe. After the capital wasteland was secured, she objected to the Brotherhood's continued military presence there. I think she assumed we would just walk away from it all. She was wrong. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Dr. Lee previously worked on a potent weapon for the Brotherhood of Steel. We'd like her to continue where she left off. That's all I can tell you. Just keep your mind on the mission. And don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck, Knight.
Czyli to nie koniec?
This place is really coming together, huh? I can't take all the credit.
Sturgis, remember that holotape with all the Institute data? I need it back.
Oh, yeah? Why? What have you got cooking?
I'm working on something with the Brotherhood of Steel. They want to look at the data I got from the Institute.
The Brotherhood, huh? I sure hope you know what you're doing. Here you go. I've already made myself a copy.
Teraz musimy oddać holotaśmę.
When I get off duty, that Salisbury steak is mine.
O, dobra, jest.
Oh man, if I'm late for muster one more time, Captain Kells is gonna have me.
Proctor, I came across a holotape with a full scan of the Institute's network.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in
Nawet
one
się nie
piece.
odwróci.
I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
You didn't expect me to survive the trip?
A device like the
maskę
Signal
teraz, nie?
Interceptor is way out of my league. I was hoping you'd make it, but I find it tough to have faith in technology I don't understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, your mission to recruit Dr. Lee still needs to be completed. I believe Elder Maxson gave you all of the
Aha,
details.
czyli
Good luck, Knight.
musimy jeszcze czekać na tą ostatnią, tak? Mamy skaner, po prostu daliśmy i sobie czekamy. A to doktor Lee. No dobra, no na razie kończę, bo późno i dużo czasu zleciało. No, dzięki i do zobaczenia.